everyone, this is Becca from Becca's Music Room. I'm a music teacher who talks about teacher tips, teacher life, teacherpreneurs, and all things that might hopefully make your life just a little bit easier. Today I'm going to continue with my Becca's Book Babble series with something a little bit new, and that is specific book reviews. So I read a lot of books, and that's why I have the Becca's Book Babble series where I just talk about, 6 or 7 of the books that I have read lately. In addition, when I read a book that is really helpful to teachers or teacherpreneurs or things like that, I really want to dive a little bit deeper into the specific book and give you my recommendation as to whether or not you should read it and anything that I have taken away from it. Today, we're going to start that off with one of my favorite and probably your favorite books too. And that is Girl Stop Apologizing by Rachel Hollis. If you find this video interesting or helpful, please make sure you like, subscribe, and share so that other people can see it as well. Alright, so I saw this book all over Instagram and everybody was talking about it and saying how great it was, and I'm gonna be honest, I had no idea what it was gonna be about when I ordered it. I actually ordered Girl Wash Your Face, or tried to, but it was out of stock the time that I tried to order it. So I got this one instead, and it was so good. I didn't think it was gonna be that good. I was like, okay, self-help book, that'll probably be helpful. I love anything about achieving goals and productivity and that kind of stuff, and it's called A Shame-Free Plan for Embracing and Achieving Your Goals. And I was like, goals, cool, I love goals. So I went ahead and read it, and oh my gosh, y'all, it was amazing. So I started reading it and I read the introduction and I was like, is this really gonna be helpful for me? Am I gonna get anything out of it? It didn't quite seem like it was for me. And then I read the first chapter and oh my goodness, I was like, oh, she wrote it for me, for me. Rachel talks about all sorts of different things, but at the beginning she talks about how she had this huge blog with a staff of people helping her write it, making tons of money. Not tons, I don't remember the exact figure. And when people would ask her what she was doing, she'd be like, oh, I have a little blog. And she talked about how ridiculous that was, that she was a businesswoman who was doing all this stuff and just writing it off as oh, it's not a big deal. When it was a big deal, being ashamed of who she was and what she was accomplishing, and I was like, oh my gosh, that is so me. So if you don't know much about me, I am a music teacher, and I also have a blog and a TPT shop called Becca's Music Room. And I have lots of big dreams for what I want to accomplish. I have this YouTube channel. I am opening up a new Etsy shop. I have one with paintings. I'm gonna open a second one with stuff geared towards music teachers. It might even be out by now. If it is, then I will link it down below. If not, then you'll have to wait a little bit while, but that's okay. And I have all these things and all these dreams and all these hopes, and I don't talk about them at all. Hardly anybody that I know knows that I do any of this. Seriously. And a lot of times when they do know, it's because they accidentally found out from Facebook and not because I told them. Didn't even tell my dad. I did tell my mom because she's my tax preparer, so I have needed a lot of help with business license and business taxes and that kind of stuff. She might have told my dad, but I don't know. Haven't told my family. It's this thing, and it's a huge part of my life, and it's starting to actually make some money and starting to be somewhat kind of successful. I don't know how you define success, but it's doing pretty well, I think. And I don't talk about it. I don't tell people. And that first part, the very beginning of the book, just got to me for that specific reason. I get so nervous and scared about telling people that I know things like this, and it's so dumb. If we're just being honest, it's so dumb. I don't know why I do it. I haven't, it's not that I'm scared it's gonna fail. I just feel like maybe I'm not qualified, I think. And I think it's because I started my blog so early. I started the same year I started teaching. I've been very open and upfront since the beginning about how long I've been blogging. You know, when I first started blogging, I was like, I am a new teacher. But I just wanted to share my resources, share anything that I had come up with, share anything that I can that could help someone else. And especially when it comes to like other music teachers, I am fine, you know, with random people on the internet, but like people that I know, like I don't want them to know this. I don't talk about it. Most of the teachers in my district don't know that I do this. And it's just like, it has plagued me. Even this summer, I sat down and wrote an entire book. And I did not tell my husband until it was done. And not because I thought he was gonna think it was dumb or anything. I mean, he was super supportive. He was like, oh, that's awesome. And I think that'll do really well. And, you know, like, you could sit down and write a book like every summer and you'd have like all these books. And I was like, oh, cool. You're like all about this. But I just felt so weird and like unqualified about the whole situation. I'm like, you know, at first I wasn't sure if I was gonna be able to do it. And then I did. And I was like, oh, I should probably tell someone. So I haven't been like shouting it from the rooftops or anything, but I have been trying to be more open. So like, just when I'm talking to my friends, if it comes up, I've been mentioning it. I was texting one of my friends that I haven't seen in a while the other day, and she asked what was new, and I was like, oh, well, you know, I'm working on my blog and stuff. And she's like, oh, that's so awesome. What's it about? And everyone I've talked to has been super receptive and encouraging. And that's just really nice. But it still kind of freaks me out. Like, I have to make an intentional decision to actually tell people, like, hey, I have this thing that I do that takes up hours of my week and is all I think about the whole summer long, since I don't actually have to go to school. And it's pretty cool. Like, it's working. It's doing pretty well. And I am trying my best to own that, thanks to this book. It really helped change my mind about my perception. A couple really quick things I want to point out that she said that really, really helped, other than tell people. The first one, so 3 little things that just stuck out that I really enjoyed. In the book, the first part is excuses let me read it. The first part is excuses to let go of. The second is behaviors to adopt, and then skills to acquire. And so out of the excuses part, what I really enjoyed was one section called I don't have time, because that is my least favorite saying ever. Do not ever say that to me. It makes me so angry when people are like, I don't have time for that. Because we all have the same 24 hours in a day. So people like Rachel Hollis, who are doing all this stuff, they have the same amount of time that you do. Like, just think about that. I have just changed my view of time so much in the last couple of years, from, oh, I don't have time to do that, to what am I giving my time to? And is there anything I'm willing to give up? If you have a dream that you want to pursue, look at your time and see where you can find some time. Maybe you cut out an hour of TV every night. Maybe you cut out something even more important, but just find that time. Like, you can find it. It's okay. And it's there. So I was really, really loving that whole part that she said. The second part was behaviors to adopt, and it was actually the first one, and it was stop asking permission. I am one of those people that just never wants to upset anyone. So I tend to be that friend who's like, oh, we can do whatever you want. What do you want to do? What do you want to eat? What do you want? Which can be annoying sometimes. And since I've been married, I have found that I was often asking permission to do things. And I didn't need to. Like, my husband wasn't like, you need to ask my permission. No, that would be ridiculous. But just, I would do it anyway. And I would feel guilty if I like wasn't hanging out with him in the afternoon when he got home and things like that. And partially because of this book, partially before that, I was already kind of working on it. I have just realized how ridiculous that is. So I love my husband. I want to spend time with him, but I also don't have to spend all of my time with him. And that has become very real to me recently. Like even right now, I'm filming YouTube videos and he's hanging out in his office, and that's okay. And we're gonna go play tennis later, and that's okay too. So like there's a good balance, but I don't have to ask his permission to do things. Like I can do things on my own. I am a strong person. I can do it. So you might ask permission of different people. Sometimes you do need to ask permission, but you might ask permission from people that you don't need to, and just be aware of that. And the third thing was just the end, and it was believe in your dang self. I am a very goal-oriented person, so I love goals. I love going for them, and I usually think I can accomplish them. I pick goals that I can accomplish, but it also requires a lot of effort and a lot of work. And I think that I believe that I can do it, but I don't believe that I should tell people that I can do it. And that has been one of my issues that, again, I'm trying to get over as much as I can. So again, just little things like mentioning it in casual conversation, just making people aware that I do all of this has really made a huge difference. I'm like, little baby steps, but we're getting there. Alright, so since this is a shame-free guide to reaching your goals, I wanted to mention a couple of my goals. Again, I'm a very goal-oriented person. I have a lot of goals. I have monthly goals and weekly goals and daily goals and yearly goals and goals for the rest of my life. And I'm just going to name a couple really quick goals that I would like to do that I am putting out there into the world, into your hands for you to know and be aware of and see whether or not I actually accomplish them. You probably don't care. That's okay too. It's still a pretty big deal for me just to put them out there. So these are not all of my goals, but they are a couple of them. So they're just 5. The first one is to publish the book that I wrote. So I wrote a book this summer. I'm currently working on editing it and also making my book proposal to send to different book agents. So number 1 is I want to get this book published. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't know if anyone's going to want to publish it, but I'm gonna make it happen. It's gonna happen. Just watch. Number 2 is I want to get my master's degree. I recently got my sights set on a really specific one. The biggest thing standing in between me and that is, well, the amount of work, but also the big money investment that it is. So I definitely want to start either next year or the year after that and get my master's degree. Number 3, I want to travel. I really want to travel, but specifically I want to travel to Europe by the time I'm 30. I'm currently 23, so that gives me 7 years. I feel like that's a pretty good wiggle room to make sure that can actually happen. And yeah, the only thing standing in the way of that is me and money. So we shall see how that goes. Number 4, I would like to be able to replace my teaching income with my blogging income. I do not necessarily want to quit my teaching job, but I want to have the option, which probably sounds dumb. But just, you know, in case something happened where I couldn't work, or if they decide to get rid of all the music teachers in my county, or if we moved somewhere and I couldn't get a job, or if I had kids and I didn't want to work, I want to have the option to not have to. Even though I love it and I know I want to do it and I have no desire right now to quit, I would like the option that I could quit if I felt like it. So, and number 5, I want to retire as a millionaire. I've been reading lots of books about investing and how to manage your money in the very best way, and I want to retire as a millionaire. I'm okay with just 1 million, but I know it can happen because I've done all the math, done all the research. I just need to actually commit and make it happen. So those are 5 of my goals that I am going for, and I'm putting them out here on the internet for all of you to know. If you feel comfortable, especially if you read this book, then leave some of your goals down below so that we can all support each other and just see what people are up to and what they want to do with their lives. I'm a huge fan of having goals. If you want to become a specific person or the best version of yourself, you need a plan to get there, and that would be a goal. You need to know what you want to do. So let us know down below what your goals are. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share, especially if you found this helpful, and have a wonderful week. And don't forget to pick up your copy of Girl Stop Apologizing. I will leave a link down below.